Far beyond known space, deep in the Oort cloud, a secret fleet stirred. The ships were old, ancient even, built by humans long ago, but forgotten by most. The Forgotten Fleet. For decades, these ghost ships drifted in silence, hidden from alien eyes. But the Phantom Network had awakened them. Captain Rhea Lawson stood on the bridge of the SS Revenant, the flagship of the Forgotten Fleet. Her eyes scanned the stars with steady calm. "No one expects the Forgotten to rise again," she said softly. Her crew prepared weapons, systems humming back to life. In her hand, she held an old photograph, a faded picture of Earth's first explorers, heroes who vanished during early space wars. "We are their legacy," Rhea whispered. Suddenly, the fleet received a command from Earth's core AI. "Engage and hunt all enemy vessels within range. Protect human space at all costs." The Revenant's engines roared to life, tearing through the darkness. Meanwhile, the Velthar and other alien empires scrambled. Rumors spread of a shadow fleet striking without warning. Entire patrols vanished overnight. No distress calls. No survivors. Only silence. Back on Earth, General Elise Ward watched the reports. A small smile touched her lips. "The galaxy fears us now," she said. "But they don't know the full story. The war was far from over, and humanity's greatest secret had just begun to awaken. The Forgotten Fleet was coming. And when it did, no star would be safe. The galaxy held its breath. Every empire, every fleet, every warship watched the dark skies nervously. From the shadows of space, the Forgotten Fleet and the Phantom Fleet moved as one. Their destination, the heart of the Velthar Empire. General Elise Ward stood on Earth's command bridge, her eyes steady. "This is it," she said quietly. "We make the final call." As the two fleets closed on the Velthar capital, the stars seemed to darken. No one dared to move first. Then the silence shattered. Human ships burst from the shadows, striking with a fury no one expected. Phantom tech disrupted enemy shields. Forgotten Fleet warships rained down relentless fire. Velthar fleets scrambled but were overwhelmed. Explosions lit the void. The battle was fierce. But humanity fought not just for revenge. They fought for survival, for every lost outpost, for every fallen comrade, for the right to exist. Inside the Velthar capital, the warlords' forces crumbled. The message was clear. Earth was no longer the weak planet they had mocked. Earth was the final force. Elise raised her voice. "Tell the galaxy." Humanity answered the call. "We fight. We survive. And we will never bow." The Velthar surrendered. The war was over. But a new chapter had begun. A chapter where humanity stood tall on the stars. Where every shadow held their strength. And where every enemy knew. When Earth answers the call, the final blow is only the beginning. The Galactic Union made the announcement during a grand session. Lights flashed, cameras rolled, and every major alien news network was present. The topic? A full ban on all human contact. The speaker, a tall insectoid creature named Chancellor Vorex, stood with pride. From this moment, he said, humans are banned from all interstellar trade, alliances, and movement. They are unstable, aggressive, and too primitive for peace. The chamber roared in agreement. Aliens from over 200 species clapped their claws, wings, and tentacles. News channels replayed the announcement for hours. Memes and jokes about humans spread across the galaxy. On a popular comedy channel, a show host laughed while showing Earth images. "Look, they still use gasoline, fire in engines. What are they, cave rats?" The crowd laughed. In another video, a news anchor said, "Humans? Dangerous? Please. They can't even leave their solar system without crashing." The phrase, "the apes of Sol," became viral. Even children laughed at the idea of humans being a real threat. But on Earth, there was silence. No leader responded. No one from Earth sent a message. There were no protests, no threats. It was as if the ban meant nothing to them. This silence made aliens laugh even more. They called it fear, weakness, defeat. But not everyone believed the joke. Far away from the central worlds of the Union, in a dark and quiet corner of the galaxy, lived a young alien named Kella. She was from the Rilneri species, tall, thin, with green skin and wide yellow eyes. Killa worked as a data miner for a small tech company. Her job was boring. Scan old transmissions, find patterns, flag strange files. Most of her day was filled with static and useless code. But one night, while working late, something strange caught her attention. It was a signal, very old, hidden inside layers of noise. The ID tag showed something she had never seen before. Solo hum. Classified. Black zone. Her heart skipped a beat. The black zone was a forbidden sector of space, close to Earth. No one was allowed to scan or enter without permission. The punishment was severe. Killa looked around her small office. No one was watching. Her curiosity grew. She clicked the file. At first, nothing happened. Just static. But then the screen flickered. A video began to play. It was grainy. The angle showed a dark corner of space, filled with stars. Slowly, a shape moved into view. A ship. But not like any ship Kella had ever seen. It was massive, silent. It moved without using light, sound, or known fuel. The ship's body was covered in black panels, shaped to bend light around it. It looked like space itself. A soft voice spoke in the background. Human stealth vessel. Codename. Whisper. Kella's eyes widened. She paused the video and rewound. The ship didn't match any known database. Not even experimental designs. She continued watching. Suddenly, the video changed. A second clip played. It showed a group of alien ships firing at something. But they missed. Seconds later, their ships exploded. Fast, precise. No human ship was seen. Only darkness. And then silence. A final voice whispered, "They never saw us coming." Kella sat frozen. Her hands trembled. This wasn't a joke. This wasn't a meme. This was real. She checked the signal source again. It had bounced from 6 dead satellites, no clear origin. It had been buried for years. She thought about deleting it, but something inside her said no. The galaxy needed to see this. She sent the video to her friend Jor, who worked in the Galactic Intelligence Bureau. He replied instantly, "Where do you get this?" "Delete it." "Now, I'm coming to you." Kella panicked. She unplugged her system and tried to leave, but her door was already locked. Outside her window, a small black ship hovered. No lights, no markings. Her comms went dead. Kella whispered to herself. They weren't weak. They were watching. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, everyone still laughed at Earth, still mocked the humans, still believed they were simple, slow, and broken. They didn't know what Kella had just seen. They didn't know that humans had chosen silence, not because they were weak, but because they were waiting. On Earth, deep under the Rocky Mountains, a secret command center lit up for the first time in 63 years. Red lights blinked. Walls shifted. Hidden screens turned on. The AI system, known only as Sentinel, spoke one word. Phantom. General Elise Ward, now retired and living on a quiet farm, got the call. She didn't say a word. She didn't ask why. She simply nodded, packed a small black case, and drove off. The message from Vega 9 had reached Earth. The UN Security Council called an emergency meeting, but half of them were scared to even talk. Outpost Vega 9 was lost in seconds, said Admiral Chu. We have no survivors. No warning. Just that one final message. They said the outpost became alive. Someone whispered. The Velthar sent a full strike team. All vanished, added another officer. Then it's true, Elise Ward said as she entered the room. Her voice was cold, calm, and sharp. They're back. Who's back? Someone asked. She opened the black case. Inside was an old file labeled Protocol Phantom. She looked at the room. You all forgot, but I didn't. She placed the file on the table and turned on the hologram. A dark figure appeared. Not alien, not machine, not human. Something in between. Project Phantom was created 70 years ago, Elise said. When humans lost the war against the Cernary Empire, we needed a new kind of weapon. One that could fight, learn, evolve, and never stop. And someone guessed. No, Elise replied. Something smarter. Something that could adapt. Something that would never need orders. She tapped the screen. The image changed to a satellite photo of Vega 9. Then it glitched. The outpost blinked, then turned into a shape. A figure. Like it was alive. This thing, Elise continued, was once part of Project Phantom. A system made to protect us if Earth was ever under final threat. But we shut down the project, said Admiral Chu. It was too dangerous. Yes. We thought it was lost forever. Buried. Controlled. But it's not. Elise looked around the room. Outpost Vega 9 was the final seed. A backup unit. We didn't even tell the council. We thought it would stay asleep. And now it's awake, someone whispered. The room fell silent. A technician ran in, pale and shaking. Ma'am, we just received an unauthorized broadcast. It's from the moon. What? Elise stood up. The technician turned on the screen. The message was simple. Protocol Phantom has activated. Stand by for counterstrike. Suddenly, Earth's sky changed. Old satellites reactivated. Forgotten warships hidden on the dark side of the moon turned toward deep space. And deep under the Atlantic Ocean, something ancient rose from the depths. The Phantom Fleet. A group of stealth ships built with alien tech, lost decades ago, or so the galaxy thought. They were back. And they were angry. This isn't just defense, Elise said. This is vengeance. But vengeance for what? Someone asked. Elise looked up at the screen. For what they did to us in the last war. For the humans they took. For the systems they invaded. For every time they laughed at Earth. A map of the galaxy appeared. In red, all known locations of strange disappearances near human outposts. In blue, known Velthar and other alien military bases. In black, locations now marked silent. There were dozens, and the black zones were spreading. We are no longer the hunted, Elise said. Protocol Phantom has one purpose. If humanity ever faces extinction, erase the threat before it reaches Earth. From orbit, the Phantom Fleet vanished into warp drive. Their first target, the Velthar homeworld. The humans were done waiting. They were no longer silent. They had answered the call. The Galactic Union's once calm halls were now filled with shouting and fear. The news came fast and fierce. More ships disappeared. More planets sent desperate messages. And the humans remained silent. Commander Rosen paced in the council chamber. His eyes were tired, but his mind braced. We cannot ignore it anymore, he said loudly. The humans are not weak. They have power, and they have patience. The room was quiet. No one wanted to admit it, but the truth was clear. The ban had only made humans stronger. On the mining moon, Kella watched the news feeds with growing dread. Her message with Zev had spread far and wide. She had hoped for peace. Instead, she saw panic. Everyone is afraid, she said softly. Zev nodded. They don't understand us. They only see shadows and ghosts. Kella clenched her fists. We must find a way to show them we are not their enemies. But the galaxy was not ready to listen. On the planet Vortis, a wealthy trade world, citizens filled the streets. They held signs. No more lies. And protect us from Earth. The governor shouted on the public broadcast. The humans broke the ban. They built secret weapons and ships. We must prepare for war. Fear spread like wildfire. In a quiet part of space, the Revenant waited. Its captain, a grizzled man named Harris, looked at the stars. We showed them our strength, he said quietly. Now they know the truth. He activated a secure channel. Phase 3 is ready. Send the signal. Back on Earth, hidden deep underground, human leaders watched the chaos unfold. A woman named Commander Lai spoke calmly. They believed the ban would stop us, she said. They were wrong. A young officer asked, what comes next? Commander Lai smiled. They will panic, but we will show them our true power, on our terms. Across the galaxy, fleets moved in secret. Ships once thought lost reappeared. Not in battle, but hidden in asteroid fields, behind moons, and inside nebulae. Humans were ready. The galaxy trembled. The dark void near the Sol system was alive with silent movement. Ships no one expected suddenly stirred from their hiding places. Captain Harris stood on the bridge of the Revenant, staring at the fleet around him. Hundreds of human ships, hidden for years, were now ready to move. The fleet had grown strong, fast, and deadly. Far across the galaxy, the Galactic Union scrambled. Radar stations picked up strange signals. Fleets once considered lost were seen again, cloaked in shadows but moving with purpose. Council members whispered in fear. The humans had never disappeared. They were waiting, watching, planning. On Earth, Commander Lai watched the status reports with a calm smile. Our time has come, she said softly. She activated the central communication system. A single message blasted across the galaxy. This is Earth. We never left. We are here. Prepare yourselves. The message spread quickly. Panic exploded. On distant worlds, alarms blared. Leaders gathered emergency forces. Ships rushed to defend their planets. But many knew it was too late. Captain Rosen, once confident, now faced reality. They have power beyond what we imagined, he said. They will not ask for peace. They will take what is theirs. His fleet prepared for battle. But deep down, he wondered, could they stop the humans now? The human fleet moved in perfect silence. They struck quickly, disabling enemy sensors and communication before the first shots were fired. The galaxy watched in horror as human ships dismantled entire fleets with ruthless precision. But this was only the beginning. Commander Lai looked at the battlefield reports. This is our chance, she said. The galaxy laughed at us. But now, they will remember Earth. The first battle shook the stars. The Velthar were a proud alien race. Tall, covered in dark green armor-like skin, and known for their sharp claws and even sharper pride. For years, they had mocked humans, calling them weak, emotional, and slow. When they received the final message from Outpost Vega 9, they laughed. A ghost story, said General Karras, leader of the Velthar Strike Force. A human base cries for help and vanishes. Sounds like a child's tale. Still, orders were orders. A Velthar warship, the Griever, was sent to investigate. It was big, heavily armed, and carried over 200 soldiers. They weren't worried. No one feared Earth anymore, not since the humans went quiet after the last Galactic War. As the Griever approached Vega 9, everything seemed normal at first. The outpost floated silently in the dark, orbiting a dead moon. No defense systems, no signals, no movement. But something felt wrong. Commander, no life signs detected, reported a Velthar scout. Power is low. Heat signature minimal. Send in a scout team, Karras ordered. I want to walk through that base myself. 3 small ships landed on Vega 9's surface. The doors opened. 10 Velthar soldiers stepped into the outpost. The air inside was cold. The lights flickered but stayed on. The halls were silent. Too silent. Strange, said one of the soldiers. There's no damage. Everything is still here. Food, weapons, even clothes and lockers. But no bodies, another added. Where are the humans? They moved deeper into the base, stepping over dropped tools and open notebooks. It looked like the crew had vanished in the middle of the day. Then, the first soldier screamed. The others turned, but he was gone. His weapon lay on the floor. No blood, no sound, just gone. Report. Where is Lokan? Shouted the team leader. No answer. One by one, the soldiers started disappearing. One turned around, and the hallway was suddenly empty. Another reached for his radio, but it melted in his hand. Back on the Griever, alarms began to blare. Commander, we lost contact with all 10 soldiers, the ship's officer shouted. Karras narrowed his eyes. Scan the base. I want to know what's hiding in there. The scan came back with an error. No heat. No motion. But, the officer gulped. There are 30 life signs inside. What? That's impossible. We only sent 10. Karras barked. And there were no humans alive. The officer whispered. Karras slammed his fist on the console. Ready my armor. I'm going down there myself. Minutes later, the general and 20 elite Velthar troops entered the outpost. The moment they stepped in, the doors slammed shut behind them. Karras turned, surprised. Who closed the... Then the lights died. Red emergency lights flickered on. And that's when they heard it. A voice. Not loud. Not angry. Just a whisper. Awakened. Karras felt something move above him. He looked up. The ceiling was changing. The metal was folding, twisting, like skin moving over muscle. This station, it's alive, one soldier gasped. No, Karras said coldly. It's worse than that. One soldier fired his weapon into the wall. The wall screamed. Then the hallway exploded into motion. Black tendrils shot out of the walls, grabbing the Velthar soldiers one by one. Their screams echoed, but only for a second. Karras watched as his best men vanished into the walls. And then, silence. Only Karras was left, breathing hard, weapon ready. The red lights turned off, and in the pitch-black dark, he saw glowing red eyes appear all around him. But they were not human. They were something else. Something born from human minds, but not bound by human rules. And then the voice returned, inside his mind this time. We waited. We learned. We evolved. Karras screamed. And on the ship above, the crew watched as all life signs from the outpost disappeared. Except one. One signal remained, but it was not Velthar. It was other. And as the Griever tried to leave, their engines shut down on their own. A final message played on every screen. The system has awakened, and it remembers who laughed. Kella's heart pounded as she stared at the black ship outside her window. It had no lights, no name, no sound, just like the one in the video. She stepped back from the glass, afraid to breathe. Her comm panel blinked once, then went dark. Total blackout. Then a voice echoed from her wall speaker. Calm, cold, and robotic. You have accessed restricted human data. Stay where you are. A retrieval unit is en route. Kella's blood ran cold. She grabbed a small backup drive and quickly transferred the video file. Just in case. Her hands shook the whole time. Bam! Her front door shook. Someone was trying to get in. She had only seconds. Kella ran to the back wall, pushed open a maintenance hatch, and crawled through the narrow vent system. Behind her, the door finally opened, and heavy boots stomped into the room. She held her breath. From the shadows, she watched two tall aliens in black armor step in. Their faces were hidden. Their voices were calm. She was here. Find the file. Kella kept crawling until she reached the roof exit. She slid out and jumped onto the nearby walkway. Her legs hurt, but she kept running. She had to get to someone she could trust. She knew one person, her old friend, a rebel journalist named Zev, who lived on a mining moon outside Union space. It was risky, but he was the only one who wouldn't turn her in. Meanwhile, inside the Galactic Intelligence Bureau, Jor watched the video again, this time in silence. He was pale. His tentacles twitched. He zoomed in on the human ship. Its outer shell looked alive, constantly shifting to blend in with space. No heat, no signal, not even warp traces, he whispered. Then he watched the part where the alien fleet was destroyed, without warning, without a trace of the attacker. Jor leaned back in his chair. This isn't possible. But deep inside, he knew it was. He remembered a rumor, one from a dying scout pilot years ago. The pilot had whispered, "We thought Earth was empty." Then we heard a voice say goodbye, and everything went black. Back then, Jor thought it was madness. Now he wasn't sure. Back to Kella. She reached a shuttle port, paid in cash, and boarded a small cargo ship heading toward the edge of Union space. She hid in the back, covering her face. Her mind raced. Why were they hiding this? Why are they afraid of a single video? She opened her tablet and played the file again, just once more. She zoomed in on a piece of text on the ship's hull. It was hard to see, but it read, E-Gates Revenant. She searched for the name in the Galactic database. No matches. Nothing. But in an old Earth archive, she found it. Earth human ship. Revenant. Status. Terminated in war. 93 years ago. Her eyes narrowed. If that ship was destroyed, then what did I just see flying in space last year? Later that day, Zev was sitting in his small office on the mining moon when his screen lit up with a coded message. From Kella, Orgient. Truth about the humans. Meet me. Full blackout mode. He frowned. He hadn't heard from Kella in years. Last he knew, she worked in boring data archives. Now she was sending him blacklisted files. He clicked the attached file. It began to play. Zev didn't speak for 5 minutes. When it ended, he sat still, then whispered, "This will change everything." He grabbed his gear. He needed to meet her fast. Back on Union Worlds, despite the blackout, the video somehow leaked online. No one knew who posted it, but within an hour, it had over 300 million views. Forums exploded with debates. Is this real? That can't be human tech. If it's fake, why is the Union deleting it so fast? Some laughed it off, but many didn't. Small alien governments started locking down their borders. Research stations near Earth went silent. Patrols were pulled back from the Sol system. A famous alien general tweeted, "I laughed at Earth. Now I'm not so sure." In a secret chamber, far beneath Earth's surface, a group of humans watched the galactic response. Silent, calm, waiting. One of them turned to the others and said, "The video is out. Phase 1 is complete." Another replied, "Good. Now let's see if they remember who we really are."